So here we are in the Bob Lord stand. We talked about the Chairman's Lounge before, the new Chairman's Lounge that's been developed. That's been switched with the Brian Miller Lounge, which is behind you. And behind us we have the old Harry Potts Lounge, Doug.
That's right, yep.
Now, to increase corporate capacity, you needed to do some work here and combine the room behind that, which is Dr. Ivan room. Just talk through that.
That's correct, yeah. Because again, where we are with our club status at the moment, we need more seats, we need more corporate seats, which is great. So we're having to do some alterations to allow that again within the existing infrastructure, if you will. So, as you say, the wall you see there in the background between the Dr. Ivan Lounge and the Harry Potts is coming down to create one big area. It will still have a folding partition, so we can still use it on a non-match day as two separate lounges. But it'll be a big lounge with approximately 200 people capacity in.
That has implications for what's behind that wall. Let's go and look at that now in the Dr. Ivan Lounge. So we're on what it's naturally called the Long Walk. It's a bit barren on the walls now, don't we? And all the legends on the walls down here, but of course everything's down because of the decorations. Past the kitchens, into the Dr. Ivan Lounge. No access beyond this point.
It's quite all right.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Exceptions.
So here we are inside the in progress Dr. Ivan Lounge. That's the wall I was talking about that backs onto the Harry Potts, Doug. This was
that's right.
Our trophy cabinets at one stage. There's one over there, one over here. This was the more modern of the trophy cabinets.
That's correct.
And these are needing to be relocated. So talk us through that, please, and where they'll go.
Yeah, I'm pleased as to say that we haven't been ransacked. We've actually stored our memorabilia, our prized assets in a storage area where we carry out the works. But the main idea of here is to create as much space as we can in this room, uplift it to a relatively modern feel as well, and so get more covers in here, more seats. So that bar there, which is a bar that's been there a long time, it's a big area, big chunk of the room, that will move. It'll go to the right-hand corner to where the second trophy cabinet was. That's right. And then, as you say, once this wall's gone, it'll be a big open space, which will be a corporate facility on a match day. What we do have to do is realise how this room's going to be used. It's a non-match day facility as well, so conferencing, banqueting. So we have the ability to close this off with a partition.
But also, trophy cabinets, where are they going to go?
Yeah, that's the third item really of how we're going to use this room. It's almost our mini museum, and I think that's really important that we try and display as much of our memorabilia that we've got. A lot of it we haven't been able to display because we haven't had the space. So in here we're going to have a full run of trophy cabinets down this wall, and in the old Harry Potts Lounge a full run down there, and then we're going to try and sort of intersperse some of our more momentous pieces of memorabilia, silverware, etc., on the walls in different ways, so in individual cabinets, maybe something a little bit interactive, so just a little bit of variety how we display our memorabilia.
Okay. For those who are familiar with Turf Moor, you'll know that the other side of this stand is where we built the club offices. They're an extension of this corporate area here.
Yeah.
That now looks out beyond, and it's everything balanced because of the two. Is there any plans to sort of extend out that way at some stage, or is that a little bit plan B?
It is plan B, but I think it's really important now that we look to the future, but with a cautious eye. And I think it's important we have a master plan as a club, that should we continue to progress, we have an idea of where we're going to go. As a club, we are very cautious, but in a very, very careful way, and in a calculated way, in a focused way. So we're not going to throw anything at it. It's like we've done in the past. It's little that we know we can achieve and sustain. That's the important bit. Sustainability of this club that's important.
And finally, Doug, of course, more seats in here means you need more seats out there. How are you going to manage that?
Yeah, that's right. So the Bob Law stand itself is where the majority of these corporate guests will be. So we're looking at changing the director's box area, just extending that a little bit, so we will have the ability to accommodate these people in the stand.
So that completes our little tour of the changes around Turf Moor this summer. Behind us you can see the control room, which was there about half an hour ago. It's on its way down now. That will create room, Doug, for the disabled facilities in that corner and in the other corner between the Hargreaves and the Jimmy Mack. Just give us a few instances of the challenges that's posed you and the timescales involved in having those areas complete.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say we are somewhat challenged with our programme of works here. We would have expected steelwork to be out the ground by now in both corners. Unfortunately, we've come across a lot of below ground issues, which generally is a reason for a programme to be delayed. A lot of services that we weren't aware of, the ground conditions, etc., which we tried to foresee, but we've come across these things. We've dealt with them, but we're probably a good 6, 8, 7 weeks behind programme at the moment. However, we've always committed to start of the season completion date and occupation date. So at the start of next season, the Premier League season, we hope to have these 2 buildings up and ready for use. They may not be fully complete because we may have a challenge with the control room. That may well go to a temporary location close by if we can't get the new one up and ready. But we'll have games on for the first game of the season, and that's now going to be the Europa game, which will be either the 26th or the 2nd of August.
Indeed. 6 to 8 weeks sounds a hefty delay. You're confident
Yeah.
you'll have those in place by the time we get going at the start of the season?
Yeah, we've looked at the programme now and worked out how we can fast track things through. There's certain things that our contractor, who we're working very closely with, can support us with, procurement, etc. But it's now just going to be heads down and do everything we can. There'll be 7 days working, I would suggest, as well, to ensure it. We know it's a real challenge, but we've got the right team on board. As I said, we've got the right contractor, and with a real desire, we'll get there.
So there's the changing face of Turf Moor. As you'll see over the next couple of weeks, steel work's going to come out of the ground. These corners will get closed in. Turf Moor's going to look a whole lot different come all this done.
Massively different, yeah, and it's just again how it shows how the club's really progressing. It's little and often. We've committed to the accessible Stadia. We want to make sure we deliver something that's fit and proper for our disabled supporters, and we can be a bit of a leading light. You know, I think we've already shown our desire to make sure we do it correctly. But it's how the club's progressing. It's not everything all in one go. It's just that calculated approach to our development plan.
Thanks, Doug. We look forward to seeing it all completed in the coming months.